Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Lauren here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Justin, and he's selling his display advertising and affiliate business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Welcome to the show, Justin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real well, Lauren. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I'm really excited to have you on the show, and I can't wait to learn more about your business. But before I dive in, I'm going to go over a brief summary of the business. This is a display advertising and affiliate business created in August 2012 in the information and business niches. The average monthly revenue for this business is $6,098, and it makes an average of $4,648 per month in net profit. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 58771 to learn more about the business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. The assets included in the sale are a primary domain and all site content and files, as well as a Facebook social media page. So now that we know more about the business, let's hear from the seller. Justin, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. So I have a technical background. I came out of college and was working in IT, and some of the jobs I was working in, there was some downtime. And so I got kind of interested in building websites, and I built a few that were doing just reviews of outdoor products. This is probably 2005 or 2006, and had a few of those that were making a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a day, and just got more and more into it. And then in 2008, I went full time into online marketing.
Okay, wonderful. So is this the first site that you've worked on, or you've worked on a couple before this?
Yeah, I've had a bunch of sites through the years, and some of them, had just kind of fallen by the wayside, or other ones got hit with Google penalties and things like that. But this one was one that, I'd learned a lot from some of the early failures and used some of that knowledge on this one.
Okay, wonderful. And what gave you the idea to start this specific website?
So I was actually searching for some information on Google, and I came across a website that had the answers, and just something about the website kind of intrigued me. And so I looked into it a little more and saw it seemed like it was getting a lot of traffic. And I just thought of a few ways that what they were doing could be done better.
Okay, great. Yeah, good way to seize that opportunity. It sounds like you had a great idea for the website. Sounds like you had a lot of success with it. What are the reasons that you're selling it now?
So I started a short-term rental Airbnb business here in Ohio a few years ago, and it's just doing really well. I'd like to pick up a couple more properties, and so I'd like to divest this website and take the funds and put them into a couple more short-term rentals.
Okay, great. Sounds like a good adventure. You mentioned you learned a lot from your initial sites, that you took those lessons and applied them to this business. Is there anything you learned from this business that you would apply to any future sites or businesses that you work on?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned from this site is just how powerful just being consistent with posting new content and updating content is in the eyes of the search engines. I don't think in the almost 10 years that this site has been around that there's ever been a week where we have not published at least 2 new posts. And so I think just that consistency has been a big part of the success.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure there were some things that didn't quite go according to plan. Were there any hiccups along the way with this business?
Yeah, I think, with websites, there's always technical issues or changing hosting providers and caching not working or things like that. But, those are just lessons you learn and kind of figure it out and move on.
Yeah, certainly. So can you walk me through where the majority of your traffic comes from? And do you do any marketing to draw that traffic in?
No marketing. This is all organic traffic. The vast majority of it is Google organic, and there's, a little bit from Bing and Yahoo as well.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Well, organic traffic is always very powerful. So Justin, if you were to keep the business, what are some of the ways that you would try and grow it further?
So I think that one thing that I've never attempted, and I think that, dating back to some of the earlier websites I built, there's never been a strong effort or emphasis put on building links to the site. All the existing links have just kind of come naturally, or, organically. So I think that that's a huge opportunity, is doing a concerted link building effort, especially with a domain that's this old and established.
Yeah, that's a good shout. So walk me through your typical work week with this business. How many hours do you work and what sort of tasks take up your time?
So I spend virtually no time on this business. I have a virtual assistant. She is an American who lives in Mexico, and she's been working with me for 4 or 5 years now. She researches all the new posts, writes all the new posts, publishes them on WordPress, and she also moderates the comments on the website as well as handling the Facebook page. So she handles all the day-to-day operations of running the site. My involvement is mostly just paying her once a month, and also every once in a while I'll set up test a new maybe revenue source or revenue stream, or try to optimize the revenue side a little bit, but maybe 2 hours a month at the most.
Yeah, wonderful. It sounds like a great passive income for you there. So where does your content come from? Do you hire external writers to do that for you?
So yeah, it's the VA that I referenced before. She handles all of that. She has obviously been doing this for a long time. So she researches the new posts and puts the posts together and schedules them out. And we have 2 to 3 new posts that go live every week.
Okay, great. Yeah, definitely a well-oiled machine. For someone who's not familiar with display advertising, what skills or requirements are needed to run this business successfully?
I don't think that there's really any skills needed on the display advertising side. It's, I use a third-party network, so it's just plugging their code onto the website. And, for the new buyer, it would just be setting up an account with them and switching the tags over to their account. And my VA, she knows so much about running the site. She could definitely help the new buyer get acclimated to the business and how that content process works.
Okay, wonderful. And what would you say are the biggest risks with the business that buyers should be aware of?
I think the biggest risk is Google and Google updates. That's where the bulk of the traffic comes from. And, you just never know when they're going to change things, what they're going to change, and how it could affect your site in the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned that, this site's been your baby for 10 years now, so no one knows this business better than you do. What sort of support are you willing to offer the buyer to help ease the transition?
So I'm willing to do a call or two initially to just walk through everything, make the introduction to the virtual assistant, and then I'm willing to provide email or Skype support for 30 days post-sale.
Okay, perfect. And during the sale, would you be willing to negotiate something like an earnout?
Sure. I'd obviously prefer an all-cash offer, but I'd be willing to do a small earnout if that helps someone out.
Okay, wonderful. And would you be willing to commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yes, I'd be willing to sign a non-compete.
Okay, great. So Justin, do you have any advice that you would give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started this business?
I think going back again to the reason why I think that this site has been a success, it's just to stay the course and be consistent. And, it's going to take a while. I think it took, 8 or 9 months before this site was really even making any money. And that was, 8 or 9 months of posting every day. So just stick with it and see where it takes you.
Yeah, that's great advice. And why would you say that a content site is a great starting point for those who are interested in online business?
I think that it's a great starting point because it's something that anyone can jump in, and you might already have some knowledge about a specific topic, or if you don't, you probably have something you're interested in, and you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos and read forums and become an expert and be able to share that knowledge with people.
Yeah, absolutely. So Justin, that leaves us into the final question of the interview, which is probably the most important one. If you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
I think this business is worth buying for several reasons. I think that it's extremely passive for someone who's looking to pick up a content site that they can add to their portfolio. I also think if there's someone who has strong link building expertise or experience, that, this could be a home run for them to just increase the rankings even further and really take off the traffic and revenue side.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely sounds like there's a lot of potential there. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners that I might have missed?
No, I don't think so. I think that about covers it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks so much for your time, Justin. It's been really great talking to you and learning more about your business.
Thanks, Lauren. I appreciate your time.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 58771. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.